Hey guys, this is David Watts with Warhead Designs. Today I'm going to briefly go over Eclectic Master System. I'm just going to go over some of just the important points of this. I'm not going to go over literally every single thing. That could take over an hour. And I'm just trying to give you all a brief demonstration. Okay, now I'm just going to just talk about this top menu up here real quick, where it says colliders, lights, misc, and tools. Okay, let's say you have an object selected and you clicked quick mesh collider. It'll add a mesh collider for you. Same thing with the wheel collider. If you have a wheel that you want to put a wheel collider on, you just click it and it'll add it. Lights, there's two different ways you can do lights. You can do lights either with an object selected or not selected. Now with an object not selected, it'll actually let you place it wherever you want. But before I do that, let me turn off directional light for you so you can actually see it better. Alright, got our light selected. As you can tell, you can't really see it. So if you press up and down on the arrow keys, you can actually offset it up and down. See, I can put it under the map now. I can bring it above the map. And also you can change the colors with plus and minus. So that gives you, a few sets of colors to start off with that are the most common colors: red, green, blue, yellow, stuff like that. But there's more to it. You can actually use 0 and 9 to expand and shrink the radius. And the brackets under plus and minus, you could actually adjust the intensity. So I can, come over here, raise this up, expand my light to cover this area of the grass. So now I got my light over there. This is ways to really help speed up the process. And the same thing with the audio source. You can come over here, you can shrink and expand the minimum zone with 0 and 9, and the max zone you can shrink and expand with minus and plus. So the same exact concept. You can raise it, lower it. Okay, I'll just put it over there. I'll put it right there. Okay, now, as I said before, you can actually do it with an object selected. I'll just do it with a light. Okay, now, to create just a basic primitive object or your prefabs, press tab. This is your prefabs, and this is your primitive objects and stuff like that. But for this case, we'll create a primitive of a cube. Okay, so you can offset it just like before. Now, the only difference is, you could do it with the lights and audio source, but it's not going to make no difference because they're round anyways. But if you press left and right arrow keys, you can actually rotate it. So if you have an enemy or something, you want it to rotate a certain way, it'll do it for you. Okay, so we can just place it. Now, if you click on light, we'll just do point light. And this is spotlight, this is directional, and this is area, just so you know. So we'll just go ahead and click on point. So now the point light is now a component of cube. So like if you have a light fixture, you can add, the light source to it. But that's the only thing that does. Same thing with the audio source. It puts an audio source on your actual object. Okay. Now, as you can see, we don't have no material. So to do that, well, you can do it, find it, test sources and drag and drop component. But I don't want to do it that way. So what I'll do is I'll make sure I have an object selected, press tab, and go to the materials menu. Now I've got a few materials in here. Some of it came from standard assets and stuff like that. But let's say we want to make it grass, so I'll click grass material. If I want to change it again, we'll do a substance material. It's just a basic material I made. It's nothing special or fancy. I just made it just for testing. But yeah, you can create but apply your materials and stuff. Now, let's say we want to save a prefab. Well, you could do it two different ways. I want to go ahead and show you that right now. Let's say we go to Eclectic Master System, Global Settings. Now, starting off, this is going to be, see how it has a path right here, Assets, Test Models. Well, when you first start off, it's going to be blank. Update settings, so it's going to be a no global prefab folder located. And this will be off, and this will be off, and this will be off, and this will be off. So that's how it'll look default. So I want to make sure I got my C# on. I don't really use Unity script, so I'll cut that off for now. Now let's press update settings. Okay, our settings are now updated. Now here's where it comes into two different ways you can do your prefabs. Since we cleared that folder out, if we press this button, save prefab, it'll pop up a menu. So you can go find and save where you want to save at. But it's going to do that with every time you do it though. Just remember that. I did it that way so it doesn't force you, but at the same time you can still locate the folder you want to do it at. But now, if we come over here, go to global settings and find a folder, I use test models, select folder, update settings. Always press update settings when you're done. Okay, now, as you can see, we got barrel and another barrel. So this one's a prefab. I just dropped these in here earlier. Okay, we have our cube. Let's name you test cube. Oh, I didn't know I had caps lock on. Alright, whatever. Alright, now when we press save, it automatically saves it for us. And yes, it will overwrite. So if you say you cut mesh renderer off and press save, drag this out here, the mesh renderer is off. Okay, so if we come back here and press save again, it'll update it. It's just quick and easy way, save time. I mean, yeah, I could easily find the folder. Let's say you're in assets, find the folder, go in the barrel, drag and drop it into there. But that's like nearly 5 seconds I just wasted. So this system is about saving time, because I believe time is very valuable. Now, let me go ahead and cut some light back on so I can get y'all to see what I'm about to do a lot easier. Okay. Make sure I got my collider. Yes, I do. Now, I got two tools up here. I got move tool and rock cast. The move tool is what we use to place it. It's just a regular normal tool. Raycast that just places it wherever you want. You got the offsets, the rotations, but I don't want to do that, so I'll press Alt right click to reset where it was before. Okay, now the rock cast, it's pretty much the same exact thing, but it gives it a non-linear rotation. So if you have like rocks and stuff like that, you can make them spin across the level without them being like a linear pattern. So we click rock cast and click our object. So now, as you can see, it's rotating. Now I have it like every, I think, 2 to 5 seconds. It randomizes the rotation. Now you can also just press left or right, up, down on the arrow keys and it'll still spin, or just move your mouse and it'll spin. But you can still offset and stuff. I like to hit one of the left and right arrows while I'm moving, because it gives it more of a different type of rotation that's more random. So if you have a rock, you sit there and place it. Okay. Now, I'm about to show you a really cool feature that can save time depending what kind of game you're making. Okay, well, I'm just going to create another primitive to make this easier. Okay. As you see, we got our basic block right there. Let me add a material. Let's make you grass so you're easy to see. Alright. Now I've got two different types of duplication systems built in. I got one where you press X and you can rename it. So we'll name it Cube Renamed. Okay. As you can see, we got Cube Renamed right here. Okay. But I don't want to do that. That's just another thing I made. I figured, hey, may as well. Someone brought it up. Okay, now I got where you press Z, which is a mass duplication system. Now, don't let this intimidate you. I know it's like 5 boxes, but the first one, C, is how many, is the count. So let's say we want to duplicate. We'll do 100 boxes. And we want to do it at the axis of X. And we'll do, instead of 1 unit up, we'll do 1.3 units up. Now, that's the forward axis, which we're not doing that right now. It's the same thing as the other two, X and Y. One is 1 unit, so 1 meter. But digits. Now, this was an interesting feature someone mentioned to me that I knew I had to put into it. I'll show that to you actually why I'm doing this. So let's say we want to, it's probably going to be too steep, I don't know yet. But let's say we want to build like a staircase going up to that mountain. Okay, 100 blocks might be too many, but it's just for testing, who cares? Alright, mass create. Now we've got our staircase created. I guess you could sort of think of it as Minecraft on steroids. But yeah, the duplication system, it works by reading the very first start. And now we got, remember how I have 4 digits. So I have 0, 0, 0, 1. And then it's 0, 0, 10. I have it create 4 digits, or however many you want to use, and it pushes the numbers left. So you can keep an organization structure. So now let's say we're back at 100, and we change it to 5 digits. And since we're at 100, it's going to read 100, and let's create 3 more. Now it's got 101, or 00101, 00102, because we have that one extra character. Okay. Now, let's see. And yes, you can, in fact, change a single material for a single object. Which, if that's what you want to do, you can, because none of them are static. If y'all want statics on everything, please let me know so I can, decide, or I can let y'all decide actually by putting an option in the next update. Okay, but now that we've got that, let me go ahead and delete those because I don't need them no more. Actually, in fact, I don't have to delete them like that. I can actually undo. So if you make a mistake and you don't want it, you just press undo. Trying to think, is there any? Oh yeah. Now I'm gonna get to the bread and butter of what makes this really unique. Now you can add scripts, which I think I might have turned them off. Okay, I got C# still on, but JavaScript's off. Okay, now there's 2 different ways to do this, and I prefer the other way, but it's up to you. Now you can go to the tab menu, make sure an object's selected, press C#. Now we can actually access every single C# script in our project except editor scripts and ones that you can actually disqualify it for even putting into, which there is a help file on that. It's very simple. It's just add 1 line with a comment and it'll just ignore the script. Okay. But let's see, this is why I don't prefer doing it this way, but it's here for people who aren't sure what it's called. So let's add ammo. Okay, as you can see, we got our script ammo added. If you don't want it, press Ctrl Z. Now, my most preferred way is middle mouse wheel plus any letter on the keyboard. And what this does is it actually reads the system, all of the whole project, and it finds the corresponding scripts based on the first letter it's called. So since we just added ammo, let's press middle mouse wheel button and A. Okay, now we got all these scripts popped up, and here's ammo right down here. Add it again. Let's say we want to add components now. Same concept. You can press shift, any letter on the keyboard. If there's a standard Unity component for it, it will pop up. So let's say a capsule collider for the heck of it. Shift C. Capsule collider right there. or alternatively, you can come up here. I just figured I'd add it anyways because one system might be faster than another. I mean, technically it could be faster. Shift C, Capsule Collider, or just come up here and Capsule Collider. But yeah, that pretty much sums up most of it right there. Oh yeah, let me go over namespaces. Now it will detect namespaces, okay? So let's make up a fake script. Okay. I know I got namespaces in here somewhere. I just don't remember which ones they are, guys. Alright. Test, test, test. Okay. We got test, test, test. Okay. Okay. We got our namespaces. Test, test, test for fake script. Let it save. Okay. Now, as you notice, we just made a script called test, test, test. So we press middle mouse wheel button, T. Oops, I didn't mean T, I meant F. Sorry, I was thinking test, test, test for the namespace. Alright, middle mouse wheel, press F. Fake script. Okay, now, fake script, as you can see, it just added it. Okay, now, I'll go over one very important thing, because it was a namespace, it added it, but namespaces in general, let's say I add public float hello speed. I don't know, just something random. Okay, and then that's fine. One namespace, it works perfectly fine. However, let's say we have another namespace. This is just a Unity thing in general. I'm just letting you know. Let's say gen hi lol. I don't know, just something random. This is something just to do with Unity. It may not even be with multiple namespace issues, but I just want to point this out since I'm here. Okay, press save. As you can see, the other variable did not pop up. Okay, so it's always going to detect the very first namespace. Okay, if it does not have this in the line, this symbol and namespace, it will ignore it. So if you have a comment 30,000 lines down, it's like, hey, we found a namespace, it won't work because it has to have this system namespace and this bracket. So if it detects another namespace and bracket, it still reverts back to the very first one because, well, that's just how it's set up. I couldn't think of any other way to make it really work by reading the file because I had to figure out how to make it get the types and stuff. So just keep that in mind. Which in general, that's just in general Unity thing. There's nothing to do with the script with that issue. But I wanted to point out that namespaces do in fact work. Okay. Alright. Now, since we have these two, well, not important scripts anymore, let's say we want to remove every single component. Now, we could always just, hit the gearbox, remove component, but I don't want to do it that way. That's too long if I want to remove all of them. So what I will do is, I'll come up here, remove components, and literally just removed. All the components are gone, it's pretty much destroyed. Yeah, okay, I got it. It disappeared on me. Yeah, I think that's everything. Let me go over 2D real quick. Same exact stuff, but the bars at the top are a little bit different. So we come up here, go to 2D, and this is the difference. It has save prefab and remove components, colliders, and the regular miscellaneous stuff. And that's the only difference. It still has the same exact things. Go ahead and save this scene. Now, as you can see, we have test scene, which is the one we're in now, and scene 2. If we press load, it does that on its own. Now we're on a new scene. Okay, so it's that simple to load levels. So go back to the other level. Literally, that's simple. You don't have to go search for it or nothing. And yeah, that's pretty much sums up everything, guys. I hope this is helpful, and I really hope you give this a try because it can really speed up the process. You have a good one. Thank you.